And that was, what's the try to name? Just Another Face from Modern Baseball, coming off their 2016 album, Holy Ghosts, which I believe came out, what's the number? A little under 8 years ago. So, yeah, I remember listening to that when it came out. I think I was like 13, if I'm correct. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. Good afternoon, listeners of Coffee Noise. I'm your host, DJ Marlin, and if you can't believe it, it's Tuesday once again. How are we doing out there, listeners? Today it is Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, as if that needs to be said anymore. Let's look into the weather for today. Right now in the city of Edinburgh, we're looking at a high of 73 with a low of 50. Right now in the city, it is 72 degrees. A very nice, warmish day. I'm wearing a very comfortable cardigan for today. I I was thinking about I should probably wear a sweater, but then I was like, nah, it's not gonna work out that well. So the cardigan, I tried to find it in my closets. It was like in the back end of it, so it was kind of a pain to find it. But I did find it, surprisingly so. Maybe that's telling me I should probably rearrange my closet better. I should do that, but I'm really too lazy to do that. Anyways, so yeah, that was the second track was Just Another Face by Modern Baseball, and the first track we played was from Hunger for a Way Out, coming from the band Sweeping Promises. I believe that came out in the album titled Hunger for a Way Out. I believe it came out in 2020. I was slightly right. So yeah, that's interesting. Anyways, about any big news that came out. Sunday was the Super Bowl. We saw the Chiefs beating out the 49ers 25-22 when the game went into overtime. The last pass they did to what's his name? That was a very clean pass. I don't know. I really didn't care for any of the teams because I am a Giants fan, even though I already know they suck, but I still have loyalty to the Giants. I don't know. Depends if they make any dumb moves, then I might have to look into a different team. But yeah, I've just been a Giants fan for the past. I don't remember. Maybe I really can't remember. I want to say maybe it was probably maybe 5 or 6 years. So when I was maybe 13, 14 years old. So hey, that's something. Anyways, let's look at the coming up albums coming up soon. Tomorrow, February 14th, we have Caroline Polachek with the album Desire I Want to Turn Into You, the Everlasting Edition, coming out on Perpetual Notice. On the 16th, we have, let's see what's an interesting album coming out that day. We're going to have the new Granddaddy album, Blue F, as well as the new Idols album, Tangk. I don't know how you pronounce that, but I'm definitely looking forward to that album. And then on the 23rd, so I believe that's next week, we're going to have the new MGMT album, Loss of Life. Definitely going to be checking that out. And then coming out in March 1st actually, is going to be the sophomore album by Yeridact. It's going to be called Where's My Utopia? Coming out on Republic Records. I love their debut. They did, I believe, 2021 the debut came out. The Overlooker, really great mix of like post punk, post rock ish, I guess. More on the post punk side. That new revival sound coming out from the UK. You have Yard Act, Black Country New Road, Black Midi, Squid, and those other bands. Yeah, I've been liking that kind of new wave just because I don't know really. It's very it sounds very nostalgic in some cases. I don't know why. Anyway, let's get right into the next track. It's going to coming off from Herbie Hancock from the 1980 album Mr. Hands. This is Just Around the Corner. And we are back. I really love that jazz funk sound. I believe that was the first album Herbie Hancock started using the Apple II computer, if I'm correct. I forgot, but that album is probably one of my favorite albums of his. I would say slightly underrated. I mean, everyone's heard Herbie Hancock and the Headhunters. What's that track called? Watermelon Man. That's a good track. Don't get me wrong, but it really overshadows the other works Herbie's done. Especially, he's been making music since. Jeez, I mean, he played with Miles Davis, so that's something, you know. the jazz world. Anyways, let's look what they have on Rate Your Music, where we talk about music because we're annoying, pretentious people. 1970s album anniversary, we have the debut album by Black Sabbath. Many would say as the start of what we now consider as metal music. I would metal music. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, you could say some bands beforehand started playing a different style compared to what was normal, but that was definitely one of the first bands that made it very popular. Over the weekend, there was the death of Damo Suzuki, the lead singer of the band Can, well-known krautrock album. So the 1973 album Future Days, I have been listening to it a lot lately. So yeah, rest in peace to him. Let's see. Also, Tago Mago coming out from 1971, also by Can. Um, Essential krautrock, psychedelic rock, experimental rock album. So I feel like if anyone wants to get into that style of music, definitely check out Can or other krautrock bands. Let's see here. 2010, we have the release in 2012 of the album Mr. Thug Isolation, coming out from Little Ugly Man. If you're into that southern Memphis rap style, the chop and screw, almost like what was that producer called? DJ Screw. I believe it was like in the 90s, early 2000s. So definitely check out that album. What's another album that was interesting for me over the weekend? What's another album? Marquee Moon by Television, definitely art punk, post punk soundish like. What was that album I was talking about right now or earlier listening to? Oh yeah, so like 2 weeks ago, I saw the film The Cremator because my friend told me to. The soundtrack, I've been very hypnotized by the soundtrack. And I've been looking right now on Discogs how much it would be for the soundtrack on vinyl. Um, it's costly, and I'm debating if I should do it. I probably would because I would love to have that in my collection. I don't think I have. Wait, do I have a soundtrack of a movie in my collection? I think I do. I can't remember the film. It's one of those early. I think it was like a 1970s B side movie. I love that weird kind of films, but I can't remember the name of it. And then I do have the soundtrack of Shrek. That was more like a joke gift that I got when I graduated high school in 2021. But that album, it's very good. If you haven't checked it out, definitely hear it. Well, check out the movie. The movie's like a bit under 2 hours long. I think it's like an hour 40 minutes long. It's a very good movie. Very dark. Very disturbing. I wouldn't say disturbing. Very surreal, I'd say, especially the use of like a fisheye lens. I was like, it was different, but it really conveyed the message. At least for me, that sounds pretty pretentious. It probably is. So let's get into the next track right now. We're gonna throw it back with some, not throw it back, but here we got some Midwestern emo. Home is where. Here is Cicada Summer. All right, listeners, and we're back. That finished up the first half hour of the show. How are we doing? How are we doing? The last track was Cicada Summers, When We Were on the Roof and the UFOs Came. That was by Home Is Where, coming off their 2019 debut EP, if I'm correct. Our Mouths to Smile. Amazing, like, Midwestern emo, that kind of depressing music. I mean, their album from last year, The Wailer, amazing album, made it to one of my top 30 albums of the year last year. So, yeah, they were doing something really good, and I can't applaud them any better than that. They're like, I mean, the albums, they have The Wailer, the I Became Birds. Also, that live album they had when they performed on Audio Tree, very good, very good. I believe that came out in 2021, if I'm correct. Yeah, I'm correct. Great album, great tracks, really. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I was looking online for the albums, the Cremator, for my vinyl collection. Most of the people I see selling it for like 120, 130 bucks. There is someone selling it for 70-ish dollars. That one I'm a bit iffy on because, depending on other people selling around the same value, then for something a bit low, it's a bit iffy, but I might look into it. I love the film. I think it's amazing. The soundtrack is very good. I mean, the film is dark, but the soundtrack, it's very beautiful, like opera song singing kind of business on it. It's really good. I really cannot speak any better on the album. So yeah, let's see. What's something I want to play before we get into the next tracks? So I'm doing something with the philosophy department. I went with the dialogue leaders. I engaged with like students talking about philosophy and whatnot. And on the background, I try to play an album. Like for the first week, I did Gavin Breyer's rendition, where he created a track. Brian, I cannot say his name. The live album, Seeking to the Titanic. It's like an hour something long. Beautiful, beautiful, like modern classical ambient. And then last week I played "A Love Supreme" by John Coltrane. Get the kids onto kids, even though they're like first year, second year students. So really can't talk. I really can't say that, but newer students into music. Good music. I mean, that makes me sound very pretentious, which I am. I am a very pretentious fellow. Am I proud of it? Hmm. Yes and no. It really depends. It really depends on what time of day you're asking. Personally, in the daytime, I feel good about it. In the evening, I tend to overthink everything. So maybe not the best. Anyway, let's get into the next track. This is gonna be "Left Arm of Life," coming off from the 2020 album "Peaceful as Hell" by Black Dresses. They're known for like very noisy, broken synth, not synth style, chipcore, almost a bit like chipcore, but not really. So it's easier just to play a track than actually describe the sound. Let's just get into it. And that was "The Sinking Bell" by from the 2006 album Alter. It was the collab album between the American ambient rock based album Sun, along with the Japanese experimental rock band Boris. Released on Southern Lord Recordings. I love that record label. I don't have any other albums on vinyl from that label, but I definitely want to get Nails, the album by Nails, both Abandon No Life and then Unsilent Death, but also that album from Earth. Yeah, what was it called? I believe it's the bees that made Honey in the Lion's Skull. I love that album. I love the band Earth in general, but that album though, it's like really good, hypnotically good. Even I'd go as far as to say that. Ooh-wee. Let's see. Anything that's happening in my life right now. This semester I will have to be reading. I would have to read a lot for school, which is kind of cool. I do like reading, but wow, I gotta read like 3 full books. And one of the books I have to finish by April, since it's on logical proofs, and I have to, demonstrate my understanding of logic and philosophy. The whole letters and errors going all over the place. Do I think I can do it? Yes, I can. It's on like maybe I believe only like 8 to 9 slides, but it's very in depth. Very in depth. Hopefully, I can do it. Hopefully, I feel like I can. Anyways, I'm gonna start playing the last track for today. It's decided to go off simple with a very slow ambient track. I feel like I don't know. I feel like ambient is really good, and I really want to play with some ambient music. Very calming, slow, but it really hits the mood. This is Pendulum Man by Bark Psychosis. This was the last track off their album Hex, released, I believe, in 1994. I'm DJ Marlin, and this was Coffee Noise. Alright, listeners, and we're back. Let's finish up for this week's show. Today we played a total of 7 tracks, if I'm correct. I'm horrible at math, that's why I'm not in STEM. Yeah, 7 tracks that we're going to go down right now. We had Hunger for a Way Out by Sweeping Promises, Just Another Face by Modern Baseball, Just Around the Corner by Herbie Hancock, Okay the Summer by Home Is Where, Left Arm of Life by Black Dresses, The Sinking Bell, Blue Shape by Boris and Son, and finally we finished off with the long ambient track Pendulum Man by Bark Psychosis. This week's playlist, as all the weeks, will be available on both Apple Music and Spotify. You can find a playlist. Follow me on Instagram at Watford2003. Final thoughts before I leave. Looking for a job is difficult. I've been close to like 5 years in the workforce, and it's difficult to find a job. Or maybe I just don't have that many good skills. I don't know what kind of jobs I can make decent money, or just enough money to pay rent. From studying philosophy. I'm pretty good at reading. I guess that makes something. Probably not. Anyway, that's gonna wrap up for this week. I'll meet y'all listeners next week, next Tuesday. Until then, eat cheese. Cheese is pretty good. All right. Goodbye.